Well, Black Monday for the Arizona Cardinals has brought forth the first stepping stone to the new era. Earlier today, the Arizona Cardinals fired Jonathan Gannon as their head coach. Many fans got mixed emotions going on. Some are shocked that Michael Bidwell actually made a good move, um, and some are not surprised. I am not surprised. I think with the immense amount of fan pressure and just the fact that this is a logical move. Now, I will say that Jonathan Gannon, I don't think is a bad coach, but he's just not our guy. He's not the problem, but he's not the solution either. And obviously, yesterday was the end of this season, his third season as an NFL coach, and I think it's the most talent we've had. Now, granted, he's dealt with injuries. The team has dealt with a lot of injuries, and just a lot of roadblocks. I mean, we had a whole quarterback situation. We had running back situation. We had receivers being lackluster. We had the secondary going down. We have a mediocre offensive line, if that. But Jonathan Gannon, when you're in your third season, and when he took over, there was I will say a refreshing change in attitude. It seemed, but I thought that was very brief. This is the year with the talent he had. This is the year where you have to see progression, and there was no progression. It got even worse. We're picking third in the NFL draft, but it's not just the fact that his progression as a team, the way he coached was just lackluster. It's the fact that this whole time period of the Arizona Cardinals, this whole organization, this whole team we have right now, it needs to be brought down. I never like rebuilds. I don't like rebuilds. It's not fun. It's demoralizing. The next 3 years are going to be a pain, and we've just dealt with this. You know, when Kyler Murray went down, we got rid of Kingsbury and that the whole air raid offense, and we brought in this new defensive minded coach, and it's hard because you're starting from ground zero. But this is now the time where we actually have to start from ground zero. This is when we press the red button. As soon as we lost yesterday to the Rams, was the time to press the red button, and I'm glad we're starting to do it. Now, there's many more obstacles we have to go through besides just firing the head coach. That's not the end all. That's not the solution. Obviously, it's a huge part. We have to bring in the right guy, and I think the better coach, obviously, the better we do. But it's like I said, it's not the end all. We've got a whole quarterback situation with Kyler Murray. I will always remain a Kyler Murray guy. He is my favorite quarterback. I've watched every snap he's ever taken in the NFL and a lot of the snaps he's taken in college with Oklahoma. Um, and I love him to death. But the way we're going, our trajectory is not set for Kyler Murray. We are not a team who is capable of having Kyler Murray. I want him to succeed somewhere else. It's not the haters and the trolls you see online who are, oh, Kyler Murray's too short and he plays Call of Duty and that's not me. The reason I think we have to move on from everything, including Gannon, including uh, Murray, is the fact that, look, he's not old, but he's in the stage of his career where he can't afford a rebuild. We've got a huge contract. We've got a lot of owed money to him, and the stage of his career shouldn't be with a rebuilding team. He should be going to a more set team, dare I say, a contender, and I think he has that talent. But the problem is, it's not easy. We're not playing Madden here. It's you can't dump him off to whatever team you feel like. And the Kyler Murray rumors they've been hot since Gannon first took over. And the fact of the matter is, Gannon and Kyler Murray, I never saw them to be to coexist. I didn't see them as a match the way I saw Kingsbury and Murray, because obviously we saw our best football with Kingsbury and Murray, the best football we've seen for the Arizona Cardinals in the past 10 years. I going back to Kingsbury, I don't think he was that bad of a guy. I thought he was a good coach actually, and he's doing well for himself. I will always support Kingsbury, but like this situation, it was time for him to go. It was trudging along to a new era, and we have hit max altitude. I think last season was our max altitude, and we're not bringing in the guys that we need. We don't have a good system. We have it's like a mix and match. You got a mobile quarterback, a dual threat improviser, and then you know he doesn't fit in that Gannon Petzing offense, who I hope goes. That should go without saying. I really hope that honestly, right after I record this, he'll be gone. But it never looked right. It didn't feel right, and we got a glimpse of this with Jacoby Brissett. Uh, I don't think Jacoby Brissett was some future. I mean, we didn't win any games. We won one game against Dallas, and that was it. Uh, but yeah, I will say he looked better. He looked like he fit more in that Petzing offense. And the question was, or the question is the same one that I had as soon as we hired Gannon. Why the hell did we bring him in if this guy doesn't fit Kyler Murray? You paid him big money to be your number one guy, the center of the team, and you don't bring a team and an offensive coordinator that fits him. I've always thought that was just a joke to me. But again, ground zero. This is where where you're demolishing a building and you take the wrecking ball to it. This has got to be a wrecking ball. I don't want to see dribs and drabs of the old team. This team sucks. It's bad. It's terrible. It was so demoralizing to watch. I actually didn't watch games. It was that bad, where I really felt the spirit just crumble. But now we actually have a chance, and it's going to be rough. Obviously, we're not going to be good, but we have things in place that if we do this right, and I'm glad we keep Monty Ossenfort. Monty Ossenfort's not the problem. I think he's a good GM, or has been a fairly good GM, and we're now set in a position where we've got a high draft pick. We've got money to play around with. We've got players and assets that we can move. Uh, I'll be the first to say it. James Conner being one. I love James Conner. Great running back, resilient guy, just a beast on the field. I mean, he literally carried our offense to so many victories. And he was when all those three guys, Connor, Murray, McBride, were on the field, we were moving. We looked good. We had glimpses of being 10 times better than what our record was. But now with James Conner being older and having that gruesome of an injury, I doubt it that he's going to come back and perform the way we need him to. I see number 3 in the NFL draft. Do I think that there's a guy up there that we should pick at 3? Definitely not a quarterback. Not a quarterback whatsoever. I don't want Mendoza. I don't want Simpson. I don't want Moore. It's this is not a year to pick a quarterback. And frankly, I find this whole quarterback draft class to be lackluster. If I was the GM of the Raiders, I would say, you know what? Either I pick best available or I trade down to some idiot who wants Mendoza. And I really have nothing against Mendoza. I just don't think he's the future. I don't think you have to be locked in to drafting a quarterback. That's the narrative that the media sets. You saw it with the Browns all these years. That's all they did was, okay, we suck, so now we're gonna go draft the best quarterback available. That's not the that's not how it should be. It should be, okay, let's accept the fact that right now we're gonna suck. Let's take a bridge year with a bridge quarterback until we actually find a solid replacement. The Bears did it, and they landed on Caleb Williams. I go back to that whole draft class. I forget what year it was, but it was, Haskins, and that just didn't feel like when they drafted Haskins, God rest his soul. But it's like, is that really necessary? Are you compelled to draft a quarterback? Same thing with Will Levis and Malik Willis. It was the same thing. And I don't want to become one of those teams where we draft a quarterback because we think it's a necessity, and now we're stuck in the same boat. This is not a quarterback problem. This is a systematic problem with our team. We are fundamentally unsound. And yeah, I compare it to the Suns, the way the Suns were last year and 2 years ago. We had good names. We had Kevin Durant, Bradley, well, not Bradley Beal. He was supposed to be good, but when we brought in Bradley Beal, it's like, is this because we feel compelled to bring in another superstar, or what? Because it didn't fit. It really didn't fit. We have two shooting guards. That ball's gonna be That's not gonna be moving around the way we want it to. Booker and KD, I think we're fine with each other. I think if we centered the team the way it was supposed to be with those two superstars, it would have worked out fine, but we didn't. And now look at the Suns now. I mean, look at their game yesterday. It was amazing. And I'm watching the game, and it's like, we don't have a bunch of superstars. We don't have a bunch of big name players, household name players who are tearing up the court. We got Jordan Goodwin dropping 24 points, and we got Dylan Brooks who's being utilized as an offensive guy. And of course, all centered around the man himself, Devin Booker. And that's how we need to look at this. How can we maximize the situation we're in? We don't have to rush into anything. This is a rebuild. It's a rebuild for a reason. It's not going to get solved within your first year. So go out when free agency hits. Go do what the Bears did. The Bears, I love their offseason. They went out and pursued the best offensive lineman they can get. Say, okay, we drafted Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams didn't look good his rookie year. You know why? Because he had a terrible team. He had a terrible team around him. And did they jump ship on him right away? No, absolutely not. They said, okay, this is our guy. We're going to get best offensive lineman. We're going to bring him receiver help. We're going to get him a good defense. We brought in, Ben Johnson, who's a great head coach. That's the way it should be. And look at where they are now. They were patient. They did the right things. And that's what we need to do. This is not a year to go draft a quarterback and call it quits. This is a year to really assess your team, where it's like, look, our wide receivers, we drafted Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison is not poised to be the guy right now. He's not. I mean, I'm not going to call him a bust. I think that would be unfair. But the way we thought Marvin Harrison was going to be when he got drafted, it has not panned out at all. I mean, he's been a solid receiver. He's shown up in games, but Michael Wilson has taken over the reins as the number one receiver. And Michael Wilson wouldn't be a number one. He would barely scratch the surface of a number two on any other team. And that's how it needs to be. Michael Wilson's a great receiver. Um, but we cannot survive with just feeding the ball to him and feeding the ball to McBride. Our receiving core across the board is lackluster. Our offensive line, goodness gracious, is frustrating to say the least. I mean, Froholt, I just don't think cuts it. Kelvin Beachum, my goodness, please. He's doing to me what DJ Humphries did to me. It's the same bullshit over and over. Offsides here, holding here, let a guy walk through here to sack my quarterback. It's Kelvin Beachum is very frustrating. And this is the guy we got protecting our franchise QB. And then when we bring in Brissett, this is the guy protecting Brissett. This is why he's scrambling for his life every play and going down every drive. Paris Johnson, I still have hope for. I think he's still good, uh, but not enough. We have done that for the longest time. We'll bring in again dribs and drabs, and we'll bring in one solid average player on the offensive line and call it quits. That it can't be like that. It needs to be all out on the team. Get the team fundamentally sound, and everything will rise from there. So if that means getting rid of Kyler Murray, yeah, yeah, I do think that would be the move. And again, let me reiterate that I'm not the guy. I'm not the armchair quarterback saying, "Oh, Kyler Murray sucks." That's all they say. It's Kyler Murray sucks. I've been hearing it forever. I think Kyler Murray is a great quarterback, and I really hope he does succeed. But again, I don't personally. I just don't want him to go through this. I don't want him to go through these miserable years of a rebuild, and that's how it's going to be. It's going to be miserable. But the fact of the matter is, would you rather take that time, those really bad years, and grow, or would you just rather be mediocre for the rest of your franchise history? That's I've seen too much of it. In my short tenure of life, that's all I've seen. And I'm tired of it. Uh in regards to who's gonna replace Gannon, that I can't really say. I think things are too fresh right now. We're things are still moving. Um I mean it's Black Monday. Pete Carroll just got fired. Stefanski just got fired. And obviously Gannon. It's gonna take some time. I don't we don't know what we have yet. We really don't. And I can't say, go get the best offensive coordinator. It's not that simple. You gotta when you bring in a head coach, you gotta know what team you want to build around him. And so Monty Ossenfort can be sitting in his office right now saying, you know, I want to bring in this head coach who's going to bring in a new life to Arizona, but he's not going to fit with Kyler Murray. Or he's going to say, I want a head coach that makes Kyler Murray our guy, that they're 2-2, and they synchronize well. They got good chemistry. I want to bring in a Kyler Murray favorable head coach. So it's right now things are too green for us to really assess what the next option is. But again, like I said, this is the first stepping stone. This is the wrecking ball stage where we're gonna see changes be made, and big changes, whether it be Kyler Murray or even Buda Baker. That's another player that I love Buda Baker to death. I think he's one of the greatest players that have played for the Arizona Cardinals, especially in that secondary. He joins elite company with Patrick Peterson and Tyrann Mathieu and all those guys. But again, same kind of thing. Buda Baker's at the point in time where he may not want to be in a rebuild stage, and I wouldn't blame him. So, are we going to go all out and say, okay, we're going to wipe the slate clean, wipe it clean, and we're going to bring in as many picks, as much money as we can get, and make this team right. Do it right this time. And if that means getting rid of some of our star players, I'm all for it. Except McBride. And he's got to stay. That goes without saying. He's too young. He's he's perfect for what we're planning to build here. So, I mean, we're gonna hear a lot in the next week, 2 weeks, all the way up until April, and it's gonna be exciting to see. Uh, I really hope the right moves are made, and again, we'll just wait and see. And it's gonna be an interesting off season. So thank you very much for listening, and have a good rest of your day.